Okay, this is our first lesson of Unit 2. Our topic is relations and functions. Okay, so relations are a set of ordered pairs. It can be shown in a lot of different ways, but you'll probably see it as a table, mapping, a graph, or expressed as an equation. Okay, the set of x values is called the domain, and the set of y values is called the range. A relation with distinct points is called discrete. So that would just be a bunch of points on a graph that aren't really connected at all. And then when they are connected, a relation with connected lines or curves is called continuous. Okay? So a function happens when you have a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range. Okay, so there's a lot of different functions, but here's an example. A parabola would be a function. Okay, and we'll show you how to figure that out. But for example, something that's not a function would be if you had a parabola in a C shape, not a U shape. Okay, that's not a function. All right, so your x values cannot repeat. Let's do an example where it's not a graph, okay? So another example of a function where x values don't repeat would be like 0, 1, 5, 4, -3, 2. Okay, that's a function. Here, this is like example 1 and example 2. These don't go together. They're two different examples. All right, and not a function. Let's do an example with points. Okay, so the set of points with 2, 1, 4, 3, 0, 5, and 2, 5. Okay, so if you look at that example, we have 2 2's repeating for the x value. That means it's not a function, okay? All right, and so for a vertical line test, let's kind of graph those points and see if we can do the vertical line test through the points. And what we're looking for is, in order to be a function, a vertical line cannot pass through more than one point in the relation, okay? So if we graph these points, give yourself little tick marks. Each one can be 1. And let's put these points here on a graph, okay? So 0, 1 would be 1 point. 5, 4, I need to give myself one more tick mark, then 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't have to be perfect, just put it near where it would go. And then -3, 2, -3, 2. Okay, that is a function. And this is actually an example of a discrete function because all of these are just separate points. Okay, so if we drew a vertical line through each point, it's only hitting the function or the point once, okay? All right, and for this is a discrete example. And then let's just do a little drawing of a continuous example. Okay, so for example, if you have a line going through your origin, okay, if we did the vertical line test there, you can see no matter what vertical line I draw, it's only hitting the function one time. Okay, so let's look at not a function. Let's graph those points. So we have, give yourself some tick marks, and we're gonna plot those points. Okay, so 2, 1, right here. 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 0, 5. I'm gonna have to go off the graph here. Okay, and 2, 5. Okay, so I plotted all those points we gave for example 2. Now, if I want to draw a vertical line through these points at each x value, here's my 0s, here's my 2s, and here's at 3, or 4, excuse me. Okay, but you can see right here on the 2s that this vertical line is hitting twice. Okay, that makes it not a function. So again, that's a discrete example. Let's just draw a sketch of a continuous example of a non-function. All right, so continuous, what if we were graphing a circle? Okay, now let's do our vertical line test, and you can tell that even if I do the vertical line test here and it touches the circle once on the outsides, okay, that may only hit once, but as soon as I go inside the circle somewhere, I'm hitting the circle more than once. Okay, that makes it not a function. So you can use the vertical line test and see how many times your graph hits the vertical line. Anytime it's more than one, not a function. You probably should have learned that in Algebra 1 already. Okay, so we're going to use all of those ideas for the next chunk and find the domain and range of each relation, then determine if the relation is a function. Okay, so we're given a list of points for number 1, our domain. Well, all of these are x comma y points, right? XY points, xy. So our domain is going to be the list of all our x's. All right, so, or the first points of each set of points. Okay, so -1, and we just list them out. If you can't do the braces, that's fine, just write them with commas. -1, 0, 4, 6. Okay, that's my domain. Then my range, we're writing the y values, -9, -5, 3, -2. Okay, now they don't have to be in order for me. I don't care. Just list them. -9, -5, 3, -2. Those are all part of our range because they're the y's. Domains are the x's. All right, so is this a function? Well, what we care about are the different x values here to say whether it's a function or not. -1, 0, 4, and 6 are all different. They don't repeat. So yes, this is a function. Okay? All right, number 2, write our domain out. Now here we see there's more than one domain, but we can list it out. So our x values are there, but if they repeat, you want to just write it once. So like I don't want to say 5 more than once in my domain because it's already there, okay? A domain is just what are your x's. So 5 is an x, -3 is an x. Here's 5 again, but we already have it listed. Okay, and then 8. Those are all the x's. All right, then y, 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 y. And if those repeat, we will not write them again. But I have 2, 4, -6, and 0. None of those repeated. Now, technically, we probably should be writing these from low to high, but I really don't care if you don't do that. It's fine with me. All right, so is this a function? Well, if you notice, we only have 3 domain values, but we have 4 y values. And looking at the list of x's, the 5s repeat. So that is a no, not a function. All right, next. This one's a lot more obvious because it's an XY table, so you know what the x's are and you know what the y's are. Pretty simple. So domain is 7, 2, 0, 4, -4. And our range is -8, 3, -1, and I already wrote 3, so I'm just not going to write it again. Okay, is this a function? Well, looking at the x's, nothing repeats. They're all different values, so yes. Okay, and number 4 is the same way, so we're just going to skip it. And you could do that on your own if you want. And that's it for page 1, part 1.